Okay, so today we'll be talking about the physical geography of Central America. Central America is the region between Mexico and Colombia at the tip of South America, and it's the chain of countries that sort of form the link between between North and South America. Um, I've included a political map to give you an idea of what countries we're talking about, because even though this is one continuous region, I think it's important that we distinguish between the countries because they are independent political entities. Um, in the south, bordering Colombia, we have Panama, and then we have Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Honduras. And then up here, we've got Guatemala, Belize, and El Salvador. So you can see there are a total of 7 countries in Central America. They stretch from the southern border of Mexico to the northern border of Colombia, well, the northeast, I guess, southeast of Mexico to the northwest of Colombia. This is Central America. This is a map of Central America, so that should give you an idea. Coastally, the Central America borders both the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. It is what's considered an isthmus. It's a narrow strip of land that connects two larger pieces of land, in this case North and South America. The Isthmus of Panama, which is the main isthmus of Central America, is as narrow as 30 miles in some places. That's going to be important later. So what you end up having is, of the 7 countries, 5 of them border both the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. Because this is such a narrow piece of land, it is not hard for the countries to stretch from sea to sea. So the only countries that do not border both are El Salvador, which you can remember borders only the Pacific, and Belize, which borders only the Atlantic. Okay, and what we ended up doing, and I say we as the United States, and it was primarily the United States, although there were other efforts involved, including the native Panamanians and the French. We took the Isthmus of Panama and we went to where it is thinnest, and we built a canal. So we carved out all of the land here and made it so that there is a continuous waterway where ships can get from this side of the ocean to that side of the ocean, making it so they don't have to sail all the way around the southern tip of South America, making it a lot easier for them to connect. So the Panama Canal is one of the most important man-made geographic features, but it is definitely part of the physical geography of the region now. That was a really important development that took place in the early 1900s, and we will talk about that more in American history. Okay, climate-wise, it is kind of diverse, and the reason is similar to the reason for Mexico. What you end up having is a string of mountains that run straight through the middle of Central America. They're known as the mountainous core, and that sort of separates it into an eastern half, well, I should say a northeastern half and a southwestern half. The eastern plains are known as the Caribbean lowlands, and they border the Caribbean Sea or the Atlantic Ocean. They have a high amount of rainfall that comes in from the Atlantic Ocean, and causes them to have really lush vegetation. The Pacific coastal plain is on the southern and western side of the mountainous core. Those have low rainfall, and because of that, you're going to have vegetation similar to the stuff you would see in Kansas. So things like short grasses, not a lot of trees, really kind of a sort of drier region. They are both tropical, which you'll remember means that they are both located within the Tropic of Cancer, which is at 23.5 degrees north latitude, and the equator, which is at 0 degrees latitude. Because Central America is confined entirely within this, you'll remember the Tropic of Cancer runs through Mexico. Because of that, the entire region has a tropical climate. Okay, so natural resources. Natural resources are obviously varied because you've got lots of different countries. One of the things that I am going to focus on is that Because the countries are kind of small, they don't have as many natural resource exports as larger countries do. So places like Belize and Panama have oil exports, but a lot of the other countries have sort of been uh, cultivated, changed by people to grow fruit and other crops. So the big term here is Banana Republic. Banana Republic is a country that was set up almost entirely by United States imperialists. So this is early 20th century, around 1900, 1910. They set up countries entirely with the intention of having them grow bananas or other fruits to export to U.S. markets. So a lot of the countries in this region are what we call banana republics, meaning they were designed entirely with the idea of fruit harvesting in mind, and so their economies were originally based off of that. There is still quite a bit of agriculture in the region. However, they have also switched to human economies, and a lot of the countries down there have factory work where they'll create things like textiles, so materials for clothing, or a lot of small electronic small electronic parts. So that is one of the ways that they've sort of shifted their exports. That is about all I have for information, but I did want to go ahead and include a physical map. This is just 1980s horrific. This is the best one that I found, so we're gonna go with it. The 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 yellow part is the mountainous course, so you can see the mountains, because that's higher elevation. You can see the mountains run through here. They get quite high in Guatemala, and they go all the way down here into South America. And then here is going to be your Pacific coastal plain, and here's going to be Caribbean lowlands. And then here's the Caribbean Sea, and then the Pacific Ocean, and the Atlantic Ocean is also here. And so you can see how the mountains sort of split the region in two. There is a lot of rainforest here, and we will talk about the rainforest when we talk about cultural geography, because that's really changed the way that people have developed. But for the time being, that is what I've got for you for Central America. So go ahead and submit your notes, and that will take care of the lecture today. Thank you very much, and as always, if you have any questions, ask me.